Now then guys, how you doing? Welcome back, thank you for joining me on another rebuild, as today we build Grasshopper Zürich. So we're off to the lovely Switzerland, and yeah, Grasshoppers, a massive fall from grace. The reason that I have chosen Grasshoppers is that they are the most successful club in Swiss football, but haven't won the league since 2002. Obviously dominated by Basel and Young Boys at the minute. So Grasshoppers, massive team for us to rebuild. Like I say, no real silverware since 2002, well, league domestic silverware that is, but over the last couple of years have been relegated and promoted again. So yes, they're back where they belong now, in the top tier, and now it's all about bringing silverware back to the club. So yes, if you are new to the channel, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe. Yes, we're looking for about another 45-minute to an hour video here. What I will say though is that Grasshoppers have not got a lot of money, so there'll be a lot of wheeling and dealing early doors. We've got to get into Europe as quickly as we can and generate some finances. So without further ado, let's get into rebuilding Grasshoppers. Right, so here we go then, Grasshoppers Club Zürich, founded in 1886. You can see there 27 Super League wins, 19 Swiss Cup wins, and 1 Swiss Challenge League trophy as well. When we look at the rivalries, Zurich is the big one. There you can go to the Zürcher Derby as the most fierce rivals of Zurich, and other rivals of Basel and Young Boys. Obviously historic there, they are the two big clubs. When we look at the history of the club in an overview, as you can see there in the league, you know, we were all about it up until 2002, 2003. You can see we finished first. Then we almost got their second place in 2012 and 2013 seasons, but then in 2018-19 we were relegated, a third place finish in the Swiss Challenge League, so basically the championship, and then they get promoted with a first place finish last season. So it's our first season back in the league. Absolutely massive for the club. Am I the man though to get that league trophy once again? So when we're looking at the club vision, what did the club want really? What did the board want? They want us to sign high reputation players, play attacking football, play entertaining football, all about that. This is the right kind of club to rebuild if that's what you're after. Develop players using the club's youth system, and to sign players under the age of 23 for the first team. The 5-year plan then is to grow the club's reputation, build a new stadium, and to work within the wage budget. And the end of the current season then is to finish in the top half and to reach the semi-final of the cup, and to work towards being the most reputable team in Switzerland. That's the thing, that's the way to go. You know, they want us to be challenging. By the time I leave, they want us to be challenging for the Super League title. I'll take that, happy with that. And then looking obviously at these youth players then, so we haven't really got any. We've got a very strong under 21 squad. Who's the best player there? So Robin Kellem, he's on loan at Schaffhausen. He's not very good though, is he? 18-year-old German. Where's he been? He's been at Grasshoppers all the way through. Actually, when they were relegated, he played 16 games last season. So I might just move a couple of these players into the first team anyway. But finances are the big thing. Like I say, I've already looked at this. We're £6.4 million in debt. We've got a 397k wage budget with only 20% of transfer revenue being made available. Wage budget wise is 93k, and we're currently spending 89. What about debt and loans wise then? So 6.4 million net debt, no transfer debt. So from that side, we're not in a bad place. Obviously that net debt is our overall balance debt as well, so we can work at balancing that out. I don't think there'll be much trouble there, especially, you know, if we're pushing for European football. But looking at European football, obviously we've got European football this season. We've only got the Swiss Super League and the Swiss Cup. 2 competitions, 2 opportunities to win silverware. Massive ask if we win anything in our first season. The Swiss Cup naturally is where we want to be. Is when we look at the Super League then, when we look at the season preview, we're expected a 4th place finish. So we're 25-1, expected top 4. That's better than I expected. I haven't actually looked at this, but we've got no players in the Media Dream 11. Lots of change around in new managers. But yeah, you can see there. Is that Gael Clichy? No way is he still about. God, he's still going at 35-year-old as Servette. But yeah, we've got a lot to do there. Reputation-wise, you know, of the league, it's 14th. When we have a look at it, it's not bad going. Swiss Super League down there, 3-star reputation. Still work to do, but good runs in Europe will sort out. Basel and Young Boys as well will do bits for us there, I'm sure. So looking at the squad then, who's the best player at the club? So AIO Koebi. Now he is on loan from Wolves, 25-year-old Japanese international with 4 caps, 1 goal. Can play in the centre of midfield, but also behind a striker. How's he got on at Wolves? So they bought him for £500,000. Hasn't played a game. Actually comes from Japan. Hiroshima there. He's not a proven goal scorer though, but he's our best player, as you can see. 4-star ability. The best player that's not on loan is Dominik Schmid, 23-year-old. 4 caps at under 21 level for Switzerland. Valued 500k. I like him. Is he new to us now? So last season he joined us on a free transfer. 34 games, 3 goals. I'm happy. He looks like a decent player, and also can play in centre midfield, but can play at left back. Right, so looking at the biggest potential player then, Young Sang Bin, 19-year-old striker, 13 finishing. He's got decent mentals physically, 16 acceleration, 14 pace. Happy with that, currently 5-star. Who's the biggest earner? 7,500k per week is Bruno Jora, another player on loan from Wolves. Is there a connection here? Let's just have a look again, club info. And then looking at the affiliates, there's got to be something going on with Wolves, surely. There you go, Wolves. So they are the senior affiliate and they loan players to us. So we've got that link with Wolves and that's good. Any other big things on there? Not really. Yeah, so Wolves being the main one for us. We may look at utilising that further down the line as well. So what about the highest value player then? So again, Young Sang Bing, £24 million is valued at. Our highest value player is Petar Pusic, 22-year-old. Swiss under 21 international again. We've got some pedigree there. 22-year-old can play out on that right hand side. He's quite versatile, unconvincing in areas, but still decent. And he's been with us all the way through. 36 games last season. I like it. Right, so tactically then, how are we looking? So tactically, I'm probably going to line up with the Spursy. I've used that before. So it's an attack and tiki-taka. 4-2-3-1. One striker for the time being. I was going to go with the 4-4-2 just to solidify, you know, consolidate for that first season, try and get European football. But I think let's go with that attacking style. Let's build up familiarity and intensity as well, and we'll go from there. So looking at the squad and the squad depth then, is there any areas that we need to improve on? So instantly I can see on that left-hand side, I haven't got anything over a 3-star player. In the midfield, we look like we're stacked. Centre-backs, we're looking good. Margrietta being the best player there, 32-year-old Austrian. He's getting on a bit now, 900k, but he's got the attributes in the right places. Heading 14, marking 13, tackling 14, acceleration and pace, still relatively decent as well. Out on the left and right hand side, I'm happy with that. We've obviously just looked at Smith out there. I would play him out there anyway. And then looking in goal, we've got Andre Moreira, 25-year-old. He's quite decent, looks fairly solid. And then Matteo Matic, another one, 25-year-old as well. So goalkeeper may be an option. We haven't really got a lot of money to play with. There's going to be outs for incoming. It's got to be. But like I say, I'm only getting 20% of that revenue. Are there any players against me though? So team cohesion is very good. Club atmosphere is poor. Magio Sport is very good. No issues so far. But does anybody oppose us? No, I've got 9 players to support us. 17 players that have no real opinion of us. So my team leader and captain Abrashi, supporters, 31-year-old. I'm happy with the look of this team. Not happy with the finances that have been given though. But Branislav Ivanovic, is he available on free transfer? What's going on? Has he just left us or is he joining us? So why is he? Or is likely to become a valuable member? I haven't got any transfers happening, have I? No incoming. So potentially we could bring in Ivanovic there, 37-year-old centre-back. You never know. It depends what kind of money he wants. So yeah, that's what we're going to do then, guys. We're going to move forward now to the start of Season 1. Big things happening. Not a lot of money to spend. Get wheeling and dealing. But hopefully improve the squad for the beginning of our first season and that push for silverware. Right, and it's the start of Season 1 then, and yeah, it's been a slow start, I'm not going to lie. The season has just like literally dropped upon us. It started 24th of July, and the Swiss Super League is about to get under the way. Our first game away to Luzern. Massive game for us, obviously, to get 3 points on the board. We've had a fairly decent pre-season. You know, the tactic looks like it's working. Yes, you can see there we got battered by Watford 3-1. But I wasn't expecting, you know, to get a result there. However, a 2-1 victory against Vitesse. When we look at the rest of it, like I say, pre-season has been pretty good. Another there, 2-0 against Caen. So, yeah, happy with how that's going. But, finances-wise, I've still got 303k in the transfer budget. 20% of transfer revenue is still being made available. 95k in the wage budget, and I'm spending 89. Debt and loans, not really too much happening. 5.3 million in net debt. So, yeah, not too much going on there. Transfers-wise, then we've had 1 out, 1 in. So, the player to leave us was Andre Santos, 32-year-old Portuguese international with 2 caps. He's average, current ability 3-star. I was obviously playing to his full potential. We sold him for 51k after we got him on a free transfer last season where he played 34 times with 2 goals. And then coming in, I've brought in the 29-year-old Camaros international with 20 caps, Ali Amada. Goalkeeper. Those goalkeeping attributes decent. That eccentricity there at 19 isn't the end of the world. Composure, 12. Concentration, 8. Could potentially make mistakes. But he's valued to 950k. Current ability. And he's playing to his full potential at 3.5-star. We got him in from Brann from Norway where he was on a free transfer. We got him on a free again after he played 10 times last season in the Premier League. Hopefully he does good stuff for us. He's had plenty of game time. Yes, over the last couple of seasons not been great, but he was a regular starter for Toulouse. I'm hoping he'll do bits for us. Like I say, valued up to almost £1 million. I don't think we'd get that for him if we look to sell him on, but it's all about him getting a good season, and his media description is a strong goalkeeper. So tactically then, how are we going to line up? So we are going to line up with that 4-2-3-1 formation. Armada in goal with Schmidt, Ribeiro, Magreta and Boller at the back, with Abrashi and Herc in the middle, Seni, Kawabe and Da Silva as my three behind, Wang Sang-bin up front. Like I say, we're going to play a tick-attacker on an attacker mentality. Dynamics-wise, team cohesion is still poor, but club atmosphere is average and managerial support is very good. Amzi wants to leave and I'm going to let him go on a free transfer. No good for us. 12 player supporters, 14 players have no real opinion of us, but it is all about outperformance in these two competitions. So we've got the Swiss Super League, like I say, and the Swiss Cup. The expectation for that one is to reach the semi-final. A top half finish is our expectation in the first season. Has anything changed then with the one player that I've brought in and the one player that I've let go? Season preview wise, no. We're still 25-1 to win the league, and nothing has really changed from the Media Dream 11. Young boys dominating there. How many players they got in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players out of a possible 11 that are making up that Media Dream 11 as well. So right, not much to talk about. Like I say, there's not a lot going on. I've not really had the time to do much. However, yeah, I'm fairly happy with the squad. We've got a lot of players leaving or contracts expiring at the end of this season, but most of them are on loan, so it'll give us an opportunity to clear up some wages. However, we have got a few players that we're not paying anything for, in fairness. You know, those players coming in from Wolves, they've got us for nothing, but we'll look at exploiting that again at the start of next season. So yes, what we're going to do then is we're going to move forward till the end of season 1, where we'll see what we can do with the players that we've already got at our disposal. Right then, season 1 is over and we've absolutely bossed it. A 3rd place finish. 2 points clear of Servette, who finished in 5th. Basel and Young Boys obviously making up the top 2. We beat St Gallen by a point as well. 3rd place finish is absolutely massive for us. Now, beforehand I realised that I didn't really talk about the rules in the competition. So, as it stands then, the top 4 teams get some kind of European football. Only 1st place though gets Champions League football or goes into the Champions League first path qualifying round. 2nd, 3rd and 4th all go in to the Europa Conference League, which doesn't bother us. Any kind of European football is good for us, but because of our 3rd place finish we get just over £2 million in prize money. So looking at this league table then, let's have a look in all its glory. So 36 games, 16 wins, 9 draws, 11 defeats is massive. St Gallen's 14 draws have helped us out there. 50 goals scored, 45 conceded, plus 5 goal difference, 57 points on the board. What about past positions wise then? So looking at it, we were all over the place. We were actually down as low as 7th for quite a spell before we were up and down, and towards the back end of the season, 3rd, down to 4th and back up to 3rd on the final game. Basel then sat up in top spot. What about Young Boys? They've had a shocker and they've pulled themselves right up. In match day 27, they were down as low as 5th before pulling themselves up into 2nd. So what about a performance in competitions wise then? So in the Swiss Cup, we were knocked out in the 2nd round by Verdon Sport FC. What league are they in? They're in the league below us and they finished in 9th place as well. So they've had a shocker. They were almost relegated and they knocked us out in the cup. So not ideal in the competitions wise. However, we've got that Europa Conference League next season. But finances wise, here we go. £7 million in the transfer budget next season. Our wage budget, look at the state of it, 187,000. We've got a plus 100k to spend on wages. Debt and loan wise, we've got to be in a decent place. And you can see there we're now plus 17 million in the black. So within one season, that 3rd place finish and Europa Conference League football next season has really sorted us out. So what about squad dynamics wise then? Team cohesion is average, club atmosphere is good and managerial support is now excellent. I've got players that want to leave, more playing time and whatnot. And then when we look at it here, I've got 22 players as supporters. 2 players have no real opinion of us. Not bad going after 1 season in charge. But it's all about the player stats then. So the top player at the club was Young Sang-bin and he's got 15 goals for us this season. Obviously at the end of this season he goes back off to Wolves. 5-star player, £40 million. Yeah, 15 goals in the league. 15 goals overall actually. Didn't get any goals in the cup. We were knocked out far too early. And then how does that compare in the league then? So he's actually the top goal scorer in the league, with Duar getting 15 as well. So Young Sang-bin, he's done bits before he left. Most dribbles made was Peter Pusic with 110 passes. Most tackles won was Schmidt for us as well. We've got plenty of players in there getting stuck in the tackles. So highest average rating then was Pusick with a 7.26. Most assists was Pusick with 9. Best pass completion was Roberto with 96%. Most player of the match awards was Pusick. He's had a decent season with 8. Most yellow cards was Roberto with 10. And Abrashi and Schmidt both got 1 red card each. But what about the team stats wise then? How are we looking there? So team stats wise, 50 goals scored, which is the 5th best, but 45 conceded, which is the 5th worst. So we clearly need to work on our defensive duties next season. Yellow cards wise, 51, which is 3rd best. And red cards wise, 2, which is the 3rd best. Average attendance was 6,800, which is the 4th worst. So bits to work on there, but a decent season for us. Those finances, let's celebrate them. What a rebuild we're going to have in this second season. You know, £7 million to spend. Couldn't do too much last season as my hands were tied. But yeah, a big rebuild coming this summer. Right then guys, so season 2 when I've started big, you know, we have spent the money this time around. When we have a look at the finances, you can see I've got 94k left in the transfer budget. We spent some big money, 80% of transfer revenue is being made available. Wage budget wise, I'm still spending just over 60k less than my wage budget at 124k when I've got 187k to play with. Overall balance, £10 million, debt and loans, still looking fantastic. Transfers wise then, the only player really leaving is Andre Moreira. Now that was my goalkeeper for last season, 26 years. He only played 6 times for us, conceded 7. But yeah, he's gone off to Penafiel for 51k. Obviously there's add-ons in there as well. Could raise to 105k, but yeah. Okay, goalkeeper, 26, would have been a decent backup, but I got a little bit of money for him. So then looking at the players that have joined us then, I've tried to get a little bit of Swiss talent in. I haven't gone all out buying Swiss players, but I've tried to bring some youth in. So Adrian Bajrami joins as a 20-year-old under 20 capped Swiss international. Now he's valued up to 2.6 million. Current ability is 2.5 star. Potential ability is 5 star. He's got a national reputation. Heading, mark and tackling, all decent. That jump and reach of 12. He is 6'2". Acceleration and pace 11, could be a bit more, but natural fitness of 16, not bad at all. I bought him for 1.7 million from Benfica. He played 12 times in their B team, hasn't played a game in their full team. But yeah, I'm happy to get him in. £1.7 million. No add-ons, nothing. That's an out-and-out fee. And I'm happy with the deal. Then I've brought in somebody that I'm excited about. Alberto Soro can play right behind the striker centrally or left and right. We're going to push him out on those wide areas. 23-year-old, so he's got plenty more time to develop. Acceleration 14, pace 12, crossing 12, dribbling 15. That's what I want from me wide men. Current ability 3.5 star, potential ability 4.5 star. Currently valued up to £2.1 million, and I brought him for £2 million from Granada, where he played 7 times last season in La Liga, 7 games, 1 goal, 1 assist, 1 player of the match performance. Decent player for me, and he's going to get much better, I'm sure. And then another player I brought in, another wide man who can also play up front. Right, get ready for this. Ransford Yeboah Koningsdorfer. That's nailed that. 3-star current ability, potential ability 5-star again. Currently valued up to £3.8 million. 20-year-old German and Ghanaian nationalities there. As you can see, acceleration and pace both 13, dribbling 15, finishing 13, first touch 15, composure 14. Expecting big things out of this guy as well. I spent £2.4 million on him from Dynamo Dresden, where they got him on a free transfer. Last season he played 12 times with 3 goals, so I may have paid a little bit over the odds. Currently valued at 3.8 million. He's got plenty of time in his contract as well, and I'm only paying him 8.5k. Then I brought in an Englishman, 23-year-old Jacob Davenport. Now, very good mentals here. That aggression 16 could maybe catch me out, but bravery 18, determination 17, work rate 16. Player traits-wise, he likes to get forward wherever possible. He dictates a tempo for somebody that's in my midfield. That's what I want. He dives into a tackle now, and that does worry me. Defensive midfielder by trade, but we're going to bring him into the centre of the midfield. Current ability 2.5 star, potential ability 4 star. Valued up to 650k, and I got him on a free transfer from Blackburn. Another free transfer to join us was the 23-year-old under-21 Italian Marco Tomanello. Now, he again can play behind a striker, but he's there as a striker this time round. Finishing 14, composure 12, balance 12 as well. 23-year-old, another young player. Current ability 3.5 star, potential ability 4 star. Valued to £2 million, as you can see here on his attribute analysis. Very attacking based, doesn't want to do much defensively, which I'm not bothered about. We've already played 1 game in the league, and within that game he come on as a sub and scored 2 goals, so a great start from him. He was at Regina last season, where he played 37 times, 9 goals, 4 assists in their Serie B. And then I was talking about bringing in some more Swiss youth. Now I've brought in Amir Saipi. This guy probably overspent for somebody that's not going to be my first choice goalkeeper straight away. So he's 22-year-old and he's capped 3 times at under 21 level, and that's why I went for him. That aerial reach 16. He's currently 6'4", acceleration 7, pace 8. He's not the quickest off the line, especially when I'm playing with a sweeper keeper. Very strong right foot. Currently valued to £1.1 million. Potential ability 4-star, and I brought him in for £1.3 million per exchange a youth player as well. Last season, he actually played in the Super League, playing 27 times, conceding 42 times though for Lugano. And then finally, I brought in a Greek international with 8 caps, Panagiotis Restos. So I got him for an absolute bargain. Let's go with that first. 850k. Now, I know he went to Verona for a free transfer after he spent a little bit of time in Germany. 15.25 million by Leverkusen spent on him. Heading 14, marking 14, tackling 14, acceleration and pace, that pace 15. Love that. This guy can play across the back 4, 23-year-old, valued at 2.7 million. Best player at the club at the moment, I would say. Like I say, current ability, 3.5 star, potential ability, 4.5 star. Right, so looking at how I would want to set up then, we'll change a couple of these players around just to get it set right. So 2 players have stayed with us from Wolves. So Bollery was with us last season, 22-year-old Hungarian. Bendugas Boller. There you go. So he's on loan last season where he played 33 times. And then I've kept Young Sang Bin, my top goal scorer last season. He's got 1 cap by South Korea and 1 goal as well. This guy was decent for us last season. 15 goals in 32 games. Got us into Europe. And hopefully he'll get us there again. But looking at it tactically then, we are going to stick with that 4-2-3-1 with Amada in goal, Schmidt, Ribeiro, Retsos and Boller at the back, with Davenport and Herc in the middle, Sorrow, Pusic and Königsdorfer with Sangbin up front. Obviously we have got Tuminello who can play up there as well. Squad dynamics wise and team cohesion average, club atmosphere excellent, and Maggio support very good, no issues there. Top influences wise then, 17 players supporters, 9 players have no real opinion of us. In the social groups wise, obviously plenty broken up there as we've had high turnover in this transfer window. Competitions wise then, we've got the Swiss Super League, the Europa Conference League and the Swiss Cup. One thing I will say that's changed between the end of the season and now is when we look at the rules, 2 teams go into the Champions League now. So we're still going to go through the qualifying stage, but that means the top 5 places can get European football, with the 5th place being determined by the winner of the Swiss Cup, so that's good to see. Season preview wise then, we're expected a 3rd place finish. Young Boys and Basel still the top 2, but I have got a player in the Media Dream 11. Restos is in there. Cisse, 28-year-old Ghanaian, let's get him scouted from Zurich. He's not going to want to join us as we are their fierce rivals, but we have managed to get 1 player into that Media Dream 11. So I just want to have a quick look at the squad depth then to see how we set up. There was areas that I wanted to improve on. Goalkeeper, I still haven't really done that. Saipi being brought in, he will probably be the number 1 next season. Hamada will be moving on, I'd imagine. He's got decent value to him now, £2.2 million, like I say, from a free transfer. Conceded 38 in 30 goals last season. But up front, we've got Tuminello, Sangbing and Königsdorfer in fairness. And he's also on that right-hand side with Pusic, Sorrow. Pusic and Sorrow out on the other side. Herc, Pusic, Sorrow. Tuminello can play behind the striker. In the midfield, I've got Abrashi, who's getting on a bit now at 32-year-old, but still a quality player in the midfield with Herc, Pusic, Schmidt, Lili as well, a player that was with us last season. Only played 3 times, wouldn't expect to see too much of him. Across the back, Restos is the best man, with Ribeiro in the centre, Boller out wide, and then in goal, obviously we've already discussed. So, looking at the schedule wise, and we've already did a couple of games. So a 2-0 victory over Sion and a 3-1 victory over Strom Godset. So that's in the Europa League qualifying rounds. We've still got to get through them before we even get to the group stages. But in the league, then we've got games against St. Gallen, Young Boys, Thun, Servette and Basel as my first 5 games. So big season coming up again. You know, did we look a 3rd place finish last season? I hope not, because I spent a lot of money to try and improve on this season. So yeah, we'll see how we get on then. Fingers crossed. See you at the end of season 2. Right then guys, we're back. Season 2 is over, and as you can see, we finished 4th in the league. However, Lausanne win the league. 1st place for them, and they were a team last season I am almost certain were tipped for relegation at the finish at the bottom of the table. So we've had a bit of a shocker. 2 seasons in, they've gone from being relegation favourites to winning the league out of nowhere, and we've actually gone down a place from 3rd to 4th place over the season. So I've had a bit of a shocking start. We still got European football. 4th place finish gets us that Europa Conference League next season. That's what I wanted anyway. However, Basel and Young Boys getting the top 2 places. When we look at the league table then, as you can see there, Luzern 74 points, ourselves on 57. We finished 5 points clear of Lugano in 5th. Young Boys and Basel making up 2nd and 3rd. Yeah, we're 4 points behind Basel there. For us though, 36 games, 16 wins, 9 draws, 11 losses, 68 goals scored, 58 conceded. Far too many goals conceded. I think that's the 3rd worst there, 58 points, 61 and 62. So yeah, plus 10 goal difference, but not great. Let's have a look at these past positions wise then. So when we look at ourselves, we were actually in top spot for a couple of games there. And then yeah, we've just fallen apart towards the second half of the season. Basically from match day 16, it's not been great for us. We got as high as 3rd again, but we've minced about in 5th and 4th position. Competitions wise then, in the Europa Conference League, we were actually knocked out in the quarter-final by Hoffenheim. What happened there then? Oh, we're absolutely battered. 7-0 at home. We lost 10-0 on aggregate there. Basel going out, getting to the same stages as well. So yeah, both Swiss teams fallen there. In the Swiss Cup, we were knocked out in the 3rd round by Basel as well. So we haven't done anything again, 2 seasons in and no silverware. What about finances wise then? So we've got £90 million in the overall balance, £4.9 million to spend in this upcoming summer transfer window, 80% of transfer revenues being made available. Wage budget wise is 187k now. We're currently spending 126k. Debt and loans, I can imagine we're in a very good place. That transfer debt 62k. Squad dynamics wise and after the season, we've got team cohesion, which is very good. Club atmosphere and managerial support is excellent. I've got Levi Natumba. I'm assuming he's my goalkeeper, yeah, one of my secondary goalkeepers. He's leaving anyway at the end of the season, leaving on a free. So yeah, not overly worried about him going. Top influencers wise then, I've got 21 players supporters, 4 players have no real opinion of us, 2 team leaders, captain and vice captain. Plenty of players, like I say, supporting me though. And then looking at the player stats, a top goal scorer for this season was Jung Sang Bin, again with 26 goals. He done the same for his last season. Obviously, he'll be returning to Wolves again. But yeah, he's a quality player. And when we look at the history of him, 32 games, 17 goals, 32 games, 15 goals. So he actually had a better season for us. He did finish top scorer in my first season. What about this time round? So he's done it again, equal with Nicholas Muami Gamelo, 17 goals for him as well for Young Boys. Spielman there for the league winners, Luzern, with 15 goals. But yeah, 2 seasons on the bounce, Sang Bing, top goal scorer. So highest average rating then was Petr Pusic with a 7.26. Most assists was Pusic as well with 15. Best pass completion was Ribeiro with 98%. Most player of the match awards was Pusic with 10. Most yellow cards was Ressos with 18. Most red cards was Davenport with 2 as well. And then when we look at the team stats, let's get this mic out the way a bit so I can actually see what's going on. So 36 games played. We scored 68 goals, which is the best, so top goal scorers. Goals conceded though, 58, which is the 3rd worst. Yellow cards wise, 111, which is the worst. That's poor from us really in 36 games. Red cards wise, 3, which is the 4th best. And average attendance wise, 6.6k. That's shocking, isn't it, really? Not good at all as far as attendance goes. We should be up there, which is the 4th worst. So there we go then, guys. I think tactically I'm going to have to look at changing something because it's just really not working for us. I did drop to a positive mentality at the start of the season. We did start off well, like I say. But yeah, I think for us, I may go and drop a little bit deeper. I may just go to a 4-4-2 and see how that does it. So yes, what we're going to do then is we're going to move forward till the start of season 3, where hopefully, you know, change your tactic, change your style, maybe, and we spent all of this money. Right then guys, season 3 is now upon us, and I've brought in a fair few players. I haven't spent a lot of money though, as when we look at these finances, I've got £17 million in the overall balance. I've still got £2.5 million in the transfer budget. Wage budget wise, 206k now is that wage budget. I'm currently spending 205, so I have gone for it with wages. I've had to make some adjustments there. So just the one player leaving us then, Ali Armada, he has gone off to Strasbourg. 42 caps for Comoros, but yeah, he's played, a couple of seasons for us. We got him on a free transfer. Ratings-wise, he's not been too bad, averaging over a 7, but 30 appearances. The first season we had him 38 conceded, and last season 34 games with 53 goals conceded. We sold him to Strasbourg for 1.9 million, which isn't bad going at all when we got him on a free transfer. 31-year-old now, so was in his prime, but I did say when I brought in Amir Sappi last season that he was the guy to replace him. So looking at spending some money then, I brought in Alberto Del Moral to play in this defensive anchor role. Now, we'll talk about tactics shortly, but I've gone for that. His current ability is 3-star, potential ability 4-star, 23-year-old Spaniard. Like I say, currently valued to 1.4 million. Decent overall player, comes deep to get the ball, stops play and tries to play his way out of trouble, which I like in fairness. We bought him for 1.5 million from Villarreal. He didn't play a game for their first team, however, last season. In their second tier, he played 36 times, 6 goals, 6 assists, a 7.06 rating, which isn't bad for somebody coming deep. I then brought in the 26-year-old Croat with 1 cap, Filip Benkovic. Now 6'4" as well. He's currently valued to 1.7 million. He's got a national reputation, 4.5-star ability, and he's playing to his full potential. When we look at him history-wise, he spent 775k getting him in. He's actually at Troyes in France, where they took him on last season for 375k. He played 11 times in Ligue 1, but a quality player, heading 16, that jump and reach 17 as well, obviously. All about his height at 6'7", marking 14, tackling 15. Very good centre-back option now, and I would say centre-back-wise, we are solid. And the amount of goals we've conceded over the last couple of seasons, I think he's an upgrade to a couple of the players that we have got. I then brought in Derek Kutesse. Now, he's a 25-year-old Swiss under-21 international. Currently valued £4 million. Almost playing to his full potential. 3.5 star at the minute. Full potential 4. Acceleration 16. Pace 14. That crossing and dribbling 12 and 16. Can play out on the left-hand side. I am still going to play with wide men. I'm not going to drop them deep. But 25-year-old, 5'9". All about that pace, cuts inside from the left wing. I'm going to play with some inside forwards, runs with the ball often, and likes to knock the ball past the opponent, which is what I want, because he's got that 16 acceleration and 14 pace. I brought him in on a free transfer from Stade Reims in Ligue 1, where he played 25 times last season. 3 goals, 1 assist, a 6.8 rating, not ideal, and he was on loan the season before at Zuldwagen in the Belgium Pro League, where he played 37 times with 4 goals. Then I brought in Rocky Bashiri. Now, he is 23-year-old, capped at under-21 level for Belgium, can play as a centre-back, but also on that right-hand side, which is where I'm going to play him. Can also play as an anchor, should I want him there. Hasn't really got that. He's at marking 13 and tackling 12, not too bad. But yeah, looking at it here, can play out on that right-hand side. That's 6 crossing and 8 dribbling though. He's more defensive-minded. Acceleration though, 13, pace 15. Current ability 4-star, but yeah, crossing and dribbling could let him down. Got him on a free transfer from Norwich, where he played 41 times in the Championship last season with 3 goals, 2 assists and a 6.84 rating. Then I brought in Eric Dina Mbimbe. Now, got him on a free transfer from PSG, where he actually played 9 times for them last season, scoring 2 goals with 1 assist, a 6.86 rating. He's been out on loan, Dijon, 30 games in League 1, so he's got plenty of pedigree, but bringing him in as a central midfielder, dribbling 12, first touch 12, that long shots of 11, passing 12. 22-year-old Cameroonian, he's going to pull the strings, now valued at £5.6 million, and his potential ability is 4-star. Then I spent 130k on Alessandro Plezzari, goalkeeper, 23-year-old Italian, capped twice at under-21 level. I've got lots of under-21 internationals now, or have played in under-21 setup. Current ability is 2.5 star, potential ability 4-star. He's a backup goalkeeper. We're paying him 11k per week. A lot of money for a backup goalkeeper. When we brought him in for 130k from Milan, didn't play again for them. A real quality option at backup. And then finally, I brought in another Milan player, Frank Sedut. Really, really good option. Acceleration 12, pace 13, dribbling 11, that finishing 11 and composure 12, stamina 16, jump and reach 16, 6'3", can play up front, but can also play left and right. Current ability 3-star, potential ability 4-star, 23-year-old, Italian and Cameroonian. Like I say, free transfer, played twice in Milan last season and scored in one of those 2 games that he played. And then finally, I've extended Sangbin loan. Now, his contract-wise, he's going to be with us till the end of 2024. So I've got him till the end of this coming season. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. That's what 3 years he's had with us now. And hopefully he'll be top goal scorer again. So tactically then, this is how I'm looking to set up, with Saipi in goal, Bajrami, Ribeiro, Restos and Bashiri, with Delmarol in the holding role, Dina Mbimbe and Herc in the middle with Coetza and Hazard out wide, and then Sang Bim. But the options, you know, I've got Tuminello up there as well, who can play up top. Loves to goal. Last season, actually, we didn't look at him, but he managed to get 7 goals in 32 appearances, and he wasn't the main man. Obviously, Sangbin was. He was the man that was getting us the goals, but yeah, Tuminello's still there. But we are going to play a 4-3-3 with that defensive midfielder, 2 inverted forwards, and advanced forward as well. However, that advanced forward, I think for me, maybe look at going on a pressing forward as an attack now. So yes, that is how we're going to set up anyway. Dynamics wise, looking at it, Team Keyson's good, club atmosphere is excellent, and my geo support is very good. No issues at the moment. Top influencers wise then, 14 player supporters, 12 players have no real opinion of us. And then looking at competitions, we've got the Super League, the Europa League, and the Swiss Cup. Again, we're up against Young Gardens there. Are they Swedish? Yes, they are. So we've got an opportunity, I think, to get into those group stages and push on again. Looking at the Super League then, what is the expectation for this season? So a 4th place finish again. Lugano there in 2nd place now, overtaken Basel, but Lucano won the league last season, 50-1 to do it again. We've got no players in the Media Dream 11. That is disappointing after getting one in there last season, but I'm happy with our setup. And the additions that we've made and the improvements to squad depth, I think we've got enough about us this season to push into the top 2. You know, we've had a 3rd place finish and a 4th place finish. We've really got to be doing better. Young Boys and Basel, obviously the teams to beat. So yes, what we're going to do then is we're going to move forward till the end of season 3. Where, you know, we're getting to the halfway point now, and I really need to claim some kind of silverware. Right then, season 3 is done, and we finished 2nd. We've got Champions League football next season regardless. Fantastic place to be for finances. But we're 3 points behind Young Boys, who finished in top spot. 5 points ahead of Basel, though. Zurich, our better rivals, in 4th. Lugano in 5th. And Lucano won the league last season, 6th place with 46 points on the board. But we've had a very good season there. When we're looking at this league table, overall, let's just get our league table up there. We played 36 games, 20 wins, the same as Young Boys, 9 draws, but 7 defeats for us there. 52 goals scored, 26 conceded, which is much better on previous season, plus 26 goal difference, 69 points on the board. We actually lost our final game of the season there, losing 1-0 to Luzerne. What an absolute shocker. You know, our form dropped off. There's a real opportunity for us to win the league as Young Boys won 4 out of 5 games. Looking at the past positions, then we're actually up into top spot, and as you can see, we have fallen apart. So we dropped into 2nd in match day 32, and we've never recovered. But we've been up there. We've had sniffs of that top place. Couple more seasons to go. We are now running out of time. But we have booked up our first bit of silverware. You can see that we have won it 1-0 against St. Gallen. Absolute scenes as Eric Jr. Dina and Mbimbe gets a penalty on 55 minutes. We had 20 shots, 8 on target, 59% of the possession. Goalkeeper with a player of the match performance, Alessandro Plazzari, with a 7.5 rating. And looking at the cup info then, that's the first time we've won it since 2013. So that first bit of silverware for us, and that should hopefully set us on the way to a couple of domestic league titles. In the Europa Conference League, we were knocked out in the semi-final, so we got all the way there and we're knocked out by Leeds United. But yeah, in the league, 2nd place. Not a bad season overall, I would say. 2nd place in the league, Swiss Cup winner, and we got to the semi-final of the Conference League. So yeah, not bad. When we're looking at the finances-wise then, we've got 2.8 million to play with this season. That's not good, is it really? And we're still only getting 80% of transfer revenue. I think I've had me blow out where we got about 7 million, did we, going into the 2nd season. I'm going to have to sell to buy, I think, this time round. Wage budget-wise, 261k to spend. I'm currently spending 200k, so I might be able to adjust the wage budget if we just have a look at that, if I was to go for it. Even if I was to go down to 216k or 204k as it is there, I get 5.8 million pounds. Not really going to make that much a difference. You know, I want to be spending £5 million on some kind of marquee signing now. But overall balance, £20 million. Debt and loans, we're in a decent place still. So squad dynamics-wise and team cohesion, very good. Actually across the board, atmosphere and managerial support as well. I've got players that are asking to leave. So Zute actually wants better playing time. How did he get on? So we only made 2 starts in the league, scored 3 goals. Yeah, not ideal there. But yeah, looking back at those dynamics, top influencers-wise then, I've got 3 team leaders. That's good. P6, Sangbin and Ribeiro. Who support us? 14 player supporters. 10 players have no real opinion. And then when we look at it here then, so we'll go through the team stats first then. So we played 36 games, 52 goals scored, which is the 4th best. 26 goals conceded, which is the 2nd best. Yellow cards wise, 66, which is the 2nd worst. We're shocking for cards. Red cards wise, 1, which is the 4th worst. Average attendance is shocking. And then look at these player stats. So player stats wise then, Derek Kutzer got 23 goals this season. Good for him. High average rating was also okay at Suid, a 7.23, and he got the most assists with 15, so he's been quality across the board. How much is he worth now? Let's have a look. So he's valued at 10.5 million, and we got him on a free transfer. What a quality season he's had. Best pass completion then was Benkovic with a 97%. Most player of the match was Kretzer with 10. Most yellow cards, plenty of players with yellow cards, and most red cards, Davenport and Del Moral. How did he get on this season? So he played 28 games, not a bad season for him as well, but only valued at £1.7 million when I spent £1.5 million on him. So there we go then, guys. That is season 3 out the way. 2 more seasons to go. At some point, surely, though, we've got to be lifting that league title. Right, so here we go then. Season 4 and the rebuild continues. However, you know, the good work that's been done at the club already has got people offering me jobs. So Leverkusen there, and Napoli both want to take me on board. Obviously, we'll be declining them as we continue this rebuild and the process of getting that domestic league silverware. That's all we are after, is winning the league, really. We're definitely not going to win the Champions League. That's all about just bringing that increased revenue into the club. And when we talk about the finances, I've got 601k left in the transfer budget. I am currently spending 30k over, and I'm not going to be able to make that adjustment to sort myself out. So I've taken all the money out. I've now got nothing left in the transfer budget. But yeah, I am still 17k over what I should be spending, which is not ideal. Overall balance, though, £18 million debt and loans. We're still in a similar position, but I've got to offload a couple more players before the end of the transfer window. Yeah, just to balance the books a little bit more. So there's quite a few players that have left, but the big leaver is Amir Saipi. Now, this guy I brought in 2 seasons ago for 1.3 million. I've actually made a loss. I sold him for £1 million to Stuttgart. He was going to be my number one, and it just never worked out. So he played 2 games for us, conceded 5 goals. Not great. I did say when I brought him in from Lugano that he hadn't had a great season. However, he had to have some first-team football in our Premier League. But yeah, it just wasn't meant to be. So I sold him off for £1 million. So coming in then, the first player through the door is the Romanian Dennis Man. Now, he's 25-year-old with 16 caps and 1 goal. Plays as a winger, predominantly out on that right-hand side. But he has got a very strong left foot and a fairly strong right foot. Current ability 3.5 star, potential ability 4 star. Acceleration 15, that pace a little bit lower at 12, but crossing and dribbling 12 and 13. 16 determination, vision 12, work rate 13. Currently valued to £1.5 million, and I spent 600k on him after Empoli took him on for 120k. He played 38 times last season in Serie B, 7 goals, 5 assists, 5 player match perform, 7.21. And I'm happy to bring him in. Another wide player. Obviously, we're just playing 1 up front and playing 2 inside forwards. For me, I'm basically playing with a front 3 anyway. Then I've brought in Hakamani Malambi. Now, I've had this guy before on other rebuilds, and he's a superstar. Now, he wants to play behind the striker. That's definitely not happening. Where he is with that dribbling 17, crossing 10 could be a bit better, but acceleration and pace 18 and 16. This guy is rapid. His attributes don't look great, I'll be honest. You know, he's got a couple of standouts, but that is about it. Very pacey. Current ability 4 star, and he's playing to his full potential. £1.4 million. South African with 16 caps and 1 goal. 26-year-old, so plenty more time in him. 14 games last season with 2 assists, 2 player of the match performances, but ratings-wise, above 7.2 every season. And we've took him on for 300k, which was his release clause. Bargain. And then I spent a bit of money on the 25-year-old Brazilian, Mikael, I'm going to call him. He could go Michael, but we'll go Mikael with 14 finishing, acceleration 12, pace 12. He's decent, moves into channels, plays short, simple passes, shoots with power and plays with his back towards goal. You know, maybe not go with that pressing forward from him. Even though, you know, when we look at it, he's probably the more complete forward. He's valued at 1.7 million up to 2.6. He's playing to his full potential, which is 4 star. But I have brought him because he is a goal scorer. Couple of seasons ago, he played 36 times, scoring 28 goals. And then, obviously, the season after, he scored 5 in 5. And then this season, he's already scored 5 in 5. And then I spent £1.8 million on him. Now, I just need him to get the goals. He is, by the look of it, prolific. Maybe at a little bit of a lower level. However, you know, the Swiss Super League, hopefully he can do it there for us. So, yeah, Mikael joining us, and I'm expecting big things. So, as you can see overall, and like I say, I've had outs and ins. I've managed to sell for a total of 1.5 million, but I have spent 2.7 million bringing players in. And then looking at the team and how we would set up, I'm probably going to go with Plazzari, Restos, Ribeiro, Benkovic and Bashiri at the back, with Del Moral in the holding role, Schmidt and Herc in the middle, with Koetze and Mann out wide, and then Mikel up front. Playing that balanced mentality, that got us a second place. We'll go positive, and we're playing a tick-attacker, 4-3-3. I like it, obviously, with the defensive midfielder. Competitions-wise then, we've got the Swiss Super League, the Champions League this time round, and the Swiss Cup. Obviously, we want to be retaining that in the Champions League then. And when we get into that next stage, the third qualifying round, we'll either play Midtjylland or Hajduk. Tough game there for us, but like I say, it's all about bringing that revenue into the club. So squad dynamics-wise then, team cohesion, manager support is very good, club atmosphere is excellent, got players that aren't too happy to do. I'm actually trying to sell on, but nobody wants him. And then when we look at it here, I've got 13 players supporters, 11 players have no real opinion of us. And then looking at the season preview, so I've got players now in that Major Dream 11, for them, Bashiri, Malambi, Mikael and Koetze in there, really good. We're now up to second place, 7-5 to win the league. What was the biggest transfer fee this season? So Noah Katterbach went from Basel to Crystal Palace for 8.5 million. What's the biggest one in? Mikael for us, £1.8 million. So we're the biggest incoming transfer. Young Boys out favourite to win the league. And when we look at the schedule, it hasn't really been kind to us as we start with games against Young Boys, Basel, Luzern, Lugano and Servette. So Young Boys and Basel, the first 2 games of the season. So this season, need to be picking up wins in every game. We've gone to a more positive approach. Hopefully that does it for us. We've had a decent pre-season, only conceding 2 goals in 5 games. So yes, we're going to push forward, where I would like to retain the Swiss Cup. Obviously, I think that may be the only opportunity we get at lifting silverware, but we've got to be pushing for this league title. Right then guys, so the end of season 4, as you can see, we have won the league, and we have won the league emphatically as well. 13 points clear of Basel with 67 points on the board for them. We finished on a grand total of 80. That may even be the highest total of every season played so far for points wise. When we look at those league positions there, you can see 36 games played, 23 wins, 11 draws, 2 defeats. 2 defeats though, not ideal. To Basel, both home and away, losing 2-1 and 3-1 there. 78 goals scored, 32 conceded. Young Boys conceding 29. Plus 46 goal difference, 80 points on the board. That form at the back end of the season. 5 wins out of a possible 5. And when we look at those past positions, we've been sat in top spot since match day 19 and we have never looked back. We went down as low as 6 actually. Didn't have the greatest start to the season, 2 games in. However, from match day 19, like I say, we have absolutely bossed it. So what about competitions wise then? So obviously winning the league, we were knocked out in the group stage of the Champions League. How do we get on? We were in a group of death fair really. Barcelona, Inter Milan, Lyon and ourselves in there. We got absolutely tanked. We drew 1 game out of a possible 6, lost the other 5, 1 point on the board, conceded 16, scored 3. Yeah, it wasn't good for us, but we're in the Champions League nonetheless. That's all that matters. Swiss Cup wise, we were knocked out in the semi-final by Lausanne, who ended up winning that. So let's have a look final wise then. So we were knocked out by the eventual winners anyway. There was a real opportunity for us there, which we missed out on. So finances wise then with the Champions League, you can see that overall balance now up to £25 million, £4.2 million transfer budget this time round, and we're still only getting 80% of available transfer revenue being made available. 363k is the wage budget we're spending, well under that, so we might make some adjustments. I may even ask for an increase, so let's have a look at the finances. Increased percentage of transfer revenue, we'll give that a go. And if I was to make a budget adjustment and we went all into the transfer budget, there you go. I've got 7.8 million. Should I reduce that wage budget? But I think for the time being, we'll just leave it as it is. Dynamics wise and team cohesion is very good. Club atmosphere is excellent and so is my geo support. I've got players that want better deals. We can sort that out. Top influencers wise then, 22 player supporters. 1 player has no real opinion of us. That's Tomanello. How did he get on this season? So yeah, I think he's getting phased out now, down to £1.8 million. Didn't do too much this season. 5 starts or 1 goal. Not really been a prolific goal scorer. Never has been before he joined us anyway. But yeah, Tomanello, may be time to cash in on him. And then just look at the club vision to see if anything has changed. So they're expecting us now to just continue to qualify for the Champions League. But next season, they want us to win that league again. So in my final season in charge, they want back-to-back league wins and to win a domestic cup as well. But yeah, it's all about reaching that group stage of the Champions League for them. To work within the wage budget, we do that. And just to keep playing, attacking, entertaining football as well. So looking at the player stats then, Koningsdorfer was the top goal scorer this season with 18 goals. How has he got on? So 15 in the league. 31 games, 7.02. He didn't actually play a game last season by the look of it. So he played the first season when we signed him for 2.4 million, 32 games, 10 goals. And then for whatever reason, obviously with the recruitment that we'd made, he just fell out of favour. But yes, like I say, he has scored 18 goals. Let's have a look and just see if he's the highest goal scorer this season. So he isn't. Mahu got 17 goals for Lausanne. Pasienia got 16 goals as well. So yeah, we're there or thereabouts. Obviously, Dennis Mann on there as well, 13 goals. A decent first season for him. 34 games, 13 goals in the league. Now valued at £5.8 million as well. So he's a very good player. So looking at the highest average rating then, Petr Pusic with a 7.26. He also had the most assists with 17. Benkovic had the highest pass completion, 98%. He also had 6 Player of the Match awards, which, yeah, that's good for a central defender. Shows how defensively solid he would have been as well. Most yellow cards was Bashiri with 15. And most red cards, Del Moral, Bashiri and Malambi. Malambi, how did he get on as well? First season for him. Didn't play too many games in fairness. 28 appearances overall, but 21 of those being substitute appearances. 4 goals, 3 assists. Team stats wise then, 78 goals scored, which is the best, 32 conceded, which is the second best, yellow cards wise 69, which is the second worst, red cards wise 2, which is the fourth worst, and that average attendance now is the second worst. Should we try just looking at the club vision to maybe expand the stadium? So we'll look to expand the stadium anyway. It may be it may be that our stadium, in fairness, I should have really looked at that beforehand. Our stadium can maybe hold a fair few fans. And as you can see there, 26,000. So I've asked to expand the stadium when we can still fit 20,000 fans in there. So yeah, not ideal. However, we may need to work on that. In our last season, I don't think we're going to bring an extra 20,000 fans to the ground. Right, so my final season in charge then, and I've gone for it this season. We've let a lot of our better players leave as we look to rebuild again for our final season. We've certainly cashed in on it, though. I think we've got enough squad and depth now to compete on all fronts. Obviously, the Champions League is going to be difficult, let's be honest. You know, getting out of the group stage is going to be hard enough. We haven't even got to that point yet where we're talking about group stages. However, you know, I have spent some money. So let's just have a look at that first of all. So finances-wise, then I've got 5.3 million transfer budget. I'm now getting 95% of transfer revenue. 363k wage budget, I'm spending 352. Debt and loans, I've got £11 million still owed to me from transfers. We've got £25 million in the overall balance. That's similar to where I ended the season. And then when we look at the players leaving us, Petr Pusic has gone off to Watford, so they've taken a couple of my players' offers. The good thing about this is, shows the quality of my squad when players have gone off to the Premier League and the Championship as well. So as you can see here, 14.5 million he's gone to Watford for. Now he's been ever present with us all the way through, started as a youth and has made his way there. 35 games last season, 3 goals, 12 assists, a 7.29 rating. Really, really good player, can play in the midfield and behind the striker. He's now valued at £29 million. But yeah, I still think 14.5 million is a very good deal for us. And last season's top goal scorer, Koningsdorfer, has gone off to Watford also for 12.5 million this time round. There are add-ons in that, obviously potential add-ons, but we're not really going to get to see him. 15 goals for his last season, but we've got that 12.5 million up front. Really, really good player for us. What did I get him for? Next to nothing, £2.4 million. And I think at the time I said I was taking a risk. And fortunately for us, that risk has paid off. My goalkeeper has also left, Alessandro Plazzari. He has gone off to Everton, so not big money, £2.4 million, but after we spent 130k on him, I'd say that's a good deal. 36 games for his last season, 32 goals conceded. I think we've got a better option in goal anyway, so yeah, Alessandro Plazzari leaves for Everton. And the last player to leave us is Alberto Soro. So this is one that I just got wrong. So he has gone off to Hercules for 70k after I spent £2 million on him. I don't want to say any more about it. He played 9 games last season. There he goes, 26-year-old, now valued at £250,000. So there is no value in it. He's a decent player, but he just hasn't done it for us. So joining us then on a free transfer, first of all, is Vanja Milinkovic-Savic. So this is the brother of SMS, who's tearing it up in Serie A. Yeah, 28-year-old this guy, 16 aerial reach, 16 kicking, free kick taken 16 as well. What a boss man, and 6'8". Current ability 3.5 star, and he's playing to that as well. Valued at £1 million, and I got him on a free transfer from Burnley, where he never played a game for them. So I'm happy to get him in, and he comes in as the number 1. So I needed to strengthen out on those wide areas with Koningsdorfer going and Pusic. So Bojack joins us. 29-year-old Croat, valued at £4.7 million. Current ability 3-star. Acceleration and pace 14 and 13. He's got very good technicals. Have free kick taken 17. Long shot 16. Long throws 18. Crossing and dribbling 13 and 15 for when he plays out on those wide areas, which is predominantly where he's going to be. Career stats wise then, we brought him for £2.6 million from Dynamo, where they spent £2.3 million on him. He's been a decent player. Last 2 seasons achieved over a 7 rating. But yeah, comes in, national reputation, media handling, outspoken, but we won't see too much of that anyway. Then I brought in Kamil Jozwiak, so he joins us from, let me remind myself, Verona. They actually spent £3.9 million on him. We took him on for 1.3. Another guy that will play out in those wide areas. I have brought him in for his pace, so acceleration 16, pace 15, crossing and dribbling 13 and 14. He's not going to be a starter. He'll play some games. In friendlies, he's made 1 start where he's got 1 assist, but yeah, 49 casts for Poland, 7 goals. Decent player, very good squad depth option. Then I've brought in a real quality player, Alex Kral, the tireless defensive midfielder with 33 caps and 3 goals for Czech Republic. 27-year-old now, current ability 3.5 star, and he's playing to his full potential. I brought him in for £1.7 million from West Ham, where they spent £12 million on him. He only played 10 times last season for West Brom in the Sky Bet Championship, but this guy, really good player. Mentally, that anticipation 18, work rate 16. He's going to work his socks off for us. Marking of 10 when I'm playing a little bit deeper. That's a little bit of a worry. He's not the quickest off the mark, but still an upgrade on what we've already got there. And I spent some more money on the 25-year-old Denmark under-21 international, Andreas Poulsen, who can play out on that left-hand side and the right. Not the greatest there, unconvincing, but I've brought him in for £1.9 million from Head 9, where they spent £2 million on him. Played 34 games last season. He was actually at Norwich. But yeah, we've brought him to us. That long throw 17, I'm going to try and exploit as well. Acceleration and pace 13, 15. Really, really good player. Media description, attack and fullback, and that's what I'm after. Then another player being brought into the midfield and can also play out in those wide areas. Alessandro Cortinovis joins us for £1.6 million from Atalanta, where he played 7 times in the Serie A last season. Didn't set the world at light at a 6.6. As an attacking midfielder by trade, can do the business there. That aggression 17 worries me a little bit, but overall a decent player. Maybe I've overspent a little bit, £1.6 million. Probably not going to be a starter, and he's made 3 substitute appearances in pre-season. And then finally, what a signing this is. Samuel Ricci joins us from Lazio. They paid £19.5 million for him. We spent £5.25 million. What a player this guy is. Best player at the club now. 4-star current ability, potential ability 4.5-star. Incredible, 23-year-old. Could potentially get full caps for Italy. Maybe we've damaged that by him coming to us. Who knows? But central midfielder or defensive mid. What a player. What more can I say? Look at those mentals. Anticipation 16, decision 16, determination 16, passing 16. Gets forward wherever possible. Tries killer balls, dictates a tempo, tries long passes and runs with the ball often. Really, really happy. That is an absolute bargain for us. He was valued at £15 million anyway, and he's valued at £15 million for us, so we've got one hell of a deal. So tactics-wise then, this is how we're looking with Milinkovic Savic in goal, Schmidt, Ribeiro, Restos and Bashir at the back with Kral, Dini Embe, Ricci in the middle, Coetza, Man and Michael up front. Now Michael, how did he get on last season? I said he was going to be a boss man. Was not the case at all. 24 games played, 4 goals scored. So he's the main man this time round with Koningsdorfer going, so big things expected. As you can see then tactically, that's how we're lining up with that 4-3-3, positive mentality, tick-attacker. Competitions-wise then, we've obviously got the Super League, the Champions League and the Swiss Cup. In the Super League then, what's the season preview? Expected a second place finish now, 7-4 to win. Plenty of players in that Media Dream 11. Bashiri, Ricci and Man. I'm surprised more players aren't in there, but I'm still happy with that setup. No new managers joining us. Second place finish potentially, but I would expect to win the league again, especially with the spending that we've had over the summer. So squad dynamics wise then, I've now got 16 players supporters, 9 players have no real opinion of us. Social groups wise, there's obviously going to be some real staggering now, as we have had a hefty turnover over the summer. And then finally, schedule wise, we start off with games against Lausanne, Zurich, AIO, Sion and Basel. So Basel being the tough game out of those first 5. Although there is a previous league winner in there as well. So yeah, big things this season. Last season, can we go out with a bang? Right then guys, so that is it. The end of the 5-year rebuild done with Grasshoppers. And as you can see, we have finished top of the league again. Only 2 points clear of Basel this time. Our form towards the end there looks horrific. When we only won 1 game out of our final 5, drawing 3 and losing 1. I think that 1-0 victory there to Young Boys has basically got us it. So let's have a look then at the league table. So like I say, that form. In fairness, Basel has had a bit of a shocker as well. They've only won 2 out of their last 5 games as well. So yeah, we have edged it there. 36 games played, 22 wins, 6 draws, 8 defeats this season. And we've lost to some teams we shouldn't really be losing to neither. 3-0 to Sion. Lugano we lost 1-0. Servette 3-2 we lost there. St. Gallen done us as well. And we lost in that Zurich derby 3-2 as well. But yeah, 74 goals scored, 42 conceded, which is far too high. We did have a bit of a turnover in the summer transfer window. Obviously, lots of players left. Some of our best players as well disappeared. But plus 32 goal difference nonetheless, and we've managed to win the league title. So competitions-wise then, we've won both domestic trophies. So we've won the league and the Swiss Cup there. Let's have a look. So 1-0 in the final against Lugano. Was it a late goal? No, 37 minutes Herc with a penalty. We dominated that game. 55% possession, 15 shots, 9 on target. They had 6 and 2. Their goalkeeper with a 7.1 rating. But played a match performance for Restos with a 7.7. And then we were knocked out in the group stages again of the Champions League with Real Madrid, Bayer Leverkusen, Galatasaray, We should have done better in that group. We should have been beating the likes of Galatasaray and even putting up a fight against Bayer Leverkusen. So we drew one game. That was a 2-2 draw with Leverkusen, in fairness. And then we got absolutely battered. There you go. Only scoring 4 goals across all 3 against Bayer Leverkusen. We actually scored a goal against Real Madrid, but didn't get a goal against Galatasaray at all. So I think that will be the one thing, obviously, in Europe. We just to push on a little bit further there. But I think the aim over the next 5 seasons was really to start build ourselves up in Europe. I think domestically now we've got it. We come close this season, obviously, to bottling it, but we got away with it. So yeah, not ideal in Europe. So finances wise, then this coming season, you've got £5.6 million to play with. We're 30k under the wage budget. Overall balance is up to £36 million. Debt and loans, we're owed £6.5 million for sales of transfers. So no, we're in a solid position financially as well. Squad dynamics wise, then I leave with team cohesion being good, club atmosphere being excellent, managerial support being very good. Malambi wants to move to a bigger club. He's got absolutely zero value, 1.8 million. He only played 2 times. He didn't actually play a league game for us. Wowzers. So no league games for us this season. Maybe it's time to cash in on him. And then looking at the top influencers wise, I've only got 12 players supporters. 50% of my squad have no real opinion of us neither. And then looking at the Z, then the top goal scorer this season was Mikel with 18 goals. Did he have a better season? Obviously than the last one. Obviously, did he only scored 4 goals last season, 13 this time round, but he's never reached those dizzying heights that he did when he was in Brazil. Highest average rating is Dennis Mann with a 7.3. He also had the highest assist with 10. Best pass completion was Benkovic with 96%. Most player of the match awards was Mann and Mikel, 7 apiece. Most yellow cards, Arrigoni, Restos and Kral with 11. And Ribeiro and Del Moral got 1 red card each. And then when we look at the team stats, so we scored 74 goals, which is the best. We conceded 42 though, which is the 4th best. 73 yellow cards, which is the worst. 2 red cards, which is the 5th worst. And average attendance up to 7.1, which is now the 4th worst. So then looking at milestones then, obviously it's not filled with European silverware here, or much silverware in fairness. It took us more or less 3 seasons just to get something in the cabinet, and that was the Swiss Cup that we won in 2024. Then we won the league the season after in 2025, and we've just done a domestic double this time round in 2026, so naturally no European glory there, but we've had a good run in the Europa Conference League over the first couple of seasons anyway. And then overview wise then, the big one here, 25 players bought for a total of £28 million, but we've actually made £10.5 million profit overall with a sale of 37 players. Now the highest fee spent was £2.5 million from Samuel Rique. Obviously, what a player he is, valued to £17 million. Now 31 games played, 7 goals, 4 assists. Really, really good talent, like I say, and that £5.25 million. Incredible deal for us. Highest fee received was Petr Pusek, who went to Watford, if I remember, for £14.5 million. How did he do this season? He only played 8 games in the Premier League. What a waste of money, God love him. And he's, yeah, be interesting to see how much they want for him as well. So if I was to ask the agent about his availability, £20 to £24 million. So he's still got that transfer value anyway. And I spent 94.87% of my time on holiday. My assistant manager has done me proud once again. So yeah, a decent end to this one. It took us 3 seasons really to get into the swing of things. But I think our domestic dominance will last for another, however long, a decade, I would say, with the team that we've built. Yeah, Basel Young Boys are falling off a bit now. What I will say then, if you've watched this video long enough, I'm going to leave this one open to download. I think that's the way to go. You can carry it on and see if you can dominate in Europe. So yeah, I'll leave the save as it is now so you can pick it up. It'll be available down in the description. But let me know, like I say, in the comments how you get on in Europe. What I would say as well, just before I go, in a development centre, we have got some real starters coming through. I never use any new gens, but Marcelo Ariano, what a player this guy looks like. 16-year-old Italian. Look at the state of him already. Potential ability 5-star. We've also got Damian Nig, who's a bit older now. 21-year-old. He's been out on loan. But again, 4.5-star potential, can do some real damage for us. We've also got one more player, Moed El Zahouzi, a really, really good player, been with us since I took over actually, but the last 2 seasons he started to feature a bit more. 11 games last season with 3 goals, but he got 9 goals in 30 appearances. Somebody else there, 21-year-old, 221 caps. So yeah, plenty of youth coming through as well. So as always, thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, would mean a lot. But yes, thank you very much, stay safe, and I'll catch you later. Ta-ra.